Hello, hello, scientists. My name is Mr. Frills. I am the principal of KIPP Wonder Academy here in St. Louis, Missouri. Welcome to Room 9, our region's largest classroom. If you're here, you're probably a second grader. And if you're not a second grader, that's completely fine. If you are a learner, you can stay and stick around to learn some science content. Today, we're going to spend some time talking about a few very important things. We're going to do the exploration of Earth and space science. Scientists use globes to describe Earth's surface. We're going to use a globe today to identify bodies of water on Earth and look for patterns related to the location of water on Earth and what form of water the water is in. We're also going to create a model to represent common landforms and bodies of water. So first, I want to show you this. Here is a globe. And you may have seen one of these before. Sometimes they sit on a stand and they're able to spin around like that. Sometimes they're really big and sometimes they're big like this. Sometimes they're small like this, but they represent and they are a model of the Earth. And you can see so many different things here. I'm going to show you some things on my computer in a moment so you can see it even closer. Give me 1 second. Check out this video of Earth, a view from space. What do you notice and what do you wonder? What do you notice about the colors? What do you notice about the shape? And what do you wonder? And then check out this video of a view of Earth from a space shuttle. You'll notice that Earth has so many colors and is really large when you get up close to it, which is how we're able to live on it right now. And you'll see that the view that astronauts have when they're in space or that a space shuttle has when it's sent to space looks very different than the view that we have on ground when we're on the ground. And it gives us the opportunity to see so many different things about space. You'll see that there are colors like blue and green and brown and white, all of which represent some type of land form or water form that's on Earth. And that's really important for us to learn about those today. Let's take a moment to keep looking to see what more we can see and learn about Earth. Here's another angle from the side of the space shuttle. Here's another angle to see. Wow, Earth is really big. And there's so much to be learned about what is happening on Earth and what those things that we're looking at mean and are. So let's spend some time doing that. Whoa. If you are like me, I'm always surprised and impressed at how big the Earth really is. And I had a bunch of questions and things that I noticed. So I want to make a little chart of the things that I noticed and wondered. On this side, I'll put the things that I noticed, and I'm sure there were a lot of things that you noticed. And on this side, I'm going to put the things that I wondered. I noticed that the Earth was round. And that's important, because some people believe that it's not round. The other thing that I noticed was that there were different colors. Another thing that I noticed was that there were lots of blue. Just gonna circle that word blue. Put a little box around it and circle it, because that was important. I saw there was some white. The thing that I wondered was, is it the same temperature everywhere? Is it the same temperature everywhere? Where some places cold and some places hot? That's what I was wondering. I was also wondering, how big is the Earth? 'Cause that's a really important question to me. It feels sometimes as if it's just so big. How big is the Earth? And of course, I had a lot of questions, but I'll just list one more. I want to know who was recording the video that we saw. Did they go to Earth and see it too? So who recorded the video? Was it a person? Was it a machine, like a camera or something that was sent there? These are questions I have, and I really want to know the answer. But when we're looking, we always want to keep in mind the things that we're noticing and the things that we're wondering, because they're important, and our thoughts are important too. So let's see. We've recorded things that we noticed and wondered, and I'm wondering, there could be so many other questions, like the Earth had different colors, and what do those mean? Or the Earth is like a sphere, like a basketball. We wonder what each color represent and why they located where they are on the globe. And another question that comes to mind is just like, why is there so much blue on the Earth? So let's think about it. Where do you live? You live in St. Louis, that's a city, and that's in the state, Missouri, which is on Earth. And there's so many parts to that, right? We have our city, St. Louis, our state, Missouri, our country, the United States, our continent, the North America, and then all of that is on Earth. I have another question for you. What is the surface of Earth like? Well, I don't know if you do this, but Earth is made up of different types of surfaces. There's land, called continents, and there's water, such as oceans, rivers, and streams, and lakes. What color do you think represents the water on the globe? And what color do you think represents the land on the globe? What color do you think represents the water on the globe? And then what color do you think represents the land on the globe? If you say blue for the water, you're right. And if you say green and brown, you're right about the land. Water is represented by blue, and green and brown it represents the land that's on Earth. And if you ever noticed and wondered where the North and South Pole are, I can show you. So the Earth, north is up when the globe is here, and south is down when the globe is here, which means that the North Pole is up here, and the South Pole is down here. And you'll notice that there's white around the South Pole, and that's in Antarctica. And the white represents ice or snow. And ice is when water is solid. So just like this water here is not frozen, this is water down here that is frozen. And it's all water, but this is a different form because it's ice. I think you know that water can be solid and liquid. And the solid form of liquid, of water, is ice. So it helps us to begin to understand all the types of things that are happening in Earth. All of it is not the same, and there are many different parts to it. We have our water, we have our land, we have our ice, we have rivers, we have lakes, we have oceans, we have continents, we have cities, we have states. All those things come together to make the Earth that we live in. So let's think about it. Today we're going to try to understand what makes up the Earth's surface and show them on this globe. This is our model for the Earth, and we can use this model to describe the patterns and observe the patterns on Earth. So we're going to play a game. This game is called Under My Thumb. Can I see your thumbs? Let me see your thumbs. Let me see your thumbs. Under my thumbs. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the globe and I'm going to throw it in the air. And wherever my right thumb falls on, we're going to take a moment to name if it is a land, if it's water, if it's solid, if it's liquid, and we're going to keep track of our answers. You feel like we can do that? Perfect. Let's see. So as we go, I'm going to see where my hand falls. And if it falls on water, 1 second. If it falls on water, we're going to fill up the water part. If it falls on land, we're going to fill up the land part. If it falls on ice, we'll fill up the ice part. And we'll see how much we come up with. I'm going to do this 8 times. So help me keep track, because sometimes Mr. Frills loses track and loses count. But let's see. If I throw it in the air, thumb landed on, it landed on ice. So we can fill up the ice part of our chart here. Ice. That was 1. So when we finish, we should have 8 boxes filled in. Let's see. Here we go. 2. What do you think that is? Land, water, or ice? I think we already know. It's water. It's water. Water, 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 water. I love water. It's good stuff. Let's keep going here. In the air, down, thumb, over here. Landed on land. So when I fill out the land, wow, this is going by pretty fast. It seems like I've done 1, 2, 3, which means that I have 5 more to go. Let's keep it going. Here we go. In the air, back down in the hand, and the right thumb. Let's see where it lands. Water again. Here we go. 4 more left. We have 2 water, 1 land, 1 ice. Let's keep going. We landed on ice again. That's surprising, because there's not much ice here on the earth. It'd be harder for me to hit that, but we did it. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 water, 1 land, 2 ice. Let's see. Water again here. Let's put our water on. Water, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, let's see. So we got 3 water, 1 land, 2 ice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 more left. Let's do it. Water again. Wow, that makes sense. There's a lot of water on Earth. A lot of water. Let's do this one. Looks like ice again. Wow. That's interesting. What are the chances? So much ice. All right, let's see where we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh, glad I counted. Mr. Frills is going to do another one. But I won't. Here we go. 4 water, 1 land, 3 ice. Okay, so there's a lot that we can learn from this. Although it was just Mr. Frills throwing the ball in the air, the globe in the air, it's still a representation of how much of the likelihood of where we end up. And it seems like there's a lot more water. There's a lot greater chance that I'll fall on water than I will fall on land. And that's interesting. Who knew? Which kind of makes sense, because there's a lot of water on Earth. See all that blue? It's a lot of water. It's interesting because it landed mostly on water. Very few land. Which is important for us to know, because that's the representation of our globe. So we did it 8 times, and that's how many we came up with. But now I'm thinking, Earth is covered mostly by, can you fill in that blank? Earth is covered mostly by, is it water, is it land, or is it ice? Earth is covered mostly by, if you said it's water, you're right. We can look at the globe and see that it represents so much of the earth. Water represents so much of the earth, takes up so much of the earth, and our globe is a good representation of that. So it's important for us to know that. There's also other parts of the earth, like land and like ice, which is really important. Because if we just had all water, that wouldn't be helpful, because some of us can't swim, and we can't really easily build a house on water or drive around in cars on water. That's just not an option. So it's interesting. So speaking of water, let's spend some time actually talking about all the types of waters that there are, all the types of water, bodies of water that there are. We notice that there are probably several different kinds, and I kind of listed some earlier, but we should actually write them out and put them into categories so that we can spend some time thinking about what they could be when we look at pictures later. So for example, there's different types, which I probably should write them out. It'll be helpful for us to keep them in mind. So let me get my marker ready, and we can list them out. Can you think of types of water that exist on Earth? The first one that comes to mind for me is probably the biggest, and that's going to be, let's make this a little neater. Can't have our boards messed up like that. Much better. One that comes to mind starts with an O, ocean. Another one that comes to mind is a river. Another one is a lake. Another one is a stream. Another one is a puddle, just a small little puddle. Sometimes those form after it rains, whether on the street, in the playground. It's a puddle. Another one that comes to mind is a pond. Ponds are nice to go swimming in, but also nice to go fishing in. Some of you probably have been fishing before. Another one is just a simple one. Let's see if you can get this one. B-A-T-H-E-G-T-U-B. Bathtub is a body of water. It's created and it exists. You know bathtubs. You may not have seen all of these, but you have seen a bathtub. So we know that one. One of the biggest ones that I want to zero in on is a river. Because we live in St. Louis, one of the biggest rivers that we know, we live by one of the biggest rivers in the world, and that is the Mississippi River. M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I. The Mississippi River is a really big one. Another ocean, the ocean that we're closest to, is the Atlantic Ocean. A-T-L-A-N-T-I-C. The Atlantic Ocean, which is the name of a really big ocean on Earth. And there's so many of them. Let me show you the Atlantic Ocean on the map. If St. Louis is here, the Atlantic Ocean is past all the way over here to the east. The Atlantic Ocean exists right here. And then the Mississippi River flows right down the middle of the United States, right past St. Louis. All those are important to know. So now, I want us to take a moment to think, if we have types of bodies of water, there must be types of land. We call those landforms. And with landforms, there's so many types that we should list them out. And as we list them out, I'm going to draw a little picture for you so you can kind of easily remember what they look like and how to notice them how to recognize them when you see them. There's so many different types of landforms, and I want to see if we can get them as we go. The first one that I wanted to tell you about is a mountain. Can you say mountain? Can you say mountain? Yes, mountain. A mountain, at times as you've seen, looks like this. Let's make sure Mr. Frills' board is facing you, and not just Mr. Frills, because we want you to see it. A mountain has a peak. You'll see that it points up. This is mountain. M-O-U. You probably know how to spell it too. N-T-A-I-N. A mountain. A mountain points up. You'll see. I'm going to put a little arrow here just so you can see it too. It points up. Another one type of landform that we have is a valley. A valley is kind of the opposite of a mountain. A valley points down. And when you see it, you'll see that there are times when there's mountains on the side here, and the valley is at the bottom of the mountain. Another one is a canyon. And a canyon kind of looks like an upside down trapezoid, and that is flat at the bottom and then goes wide at the top. It also points down. Another one is a plane, and a plane is just like it sounds. It's plane, and it stays flat. Flat. I'll make sure you get to see it. And the very last one is, the last one I want to talk about today is a plateau. Let's make sure you can see that. Yep, you can see it. A plateau. A plateau points up and is flat at the top. That's what a plateau looks like. So we got mountain, valley, canyon, plain, plateau. And there are other types of landforms as well, but these are probably the ones that are the most popular. I wanted to show you a couple of them that exist. And we're going to play a little game to see if you can actually identify which kind there are. This name of this game is called Observing Land and Water. I'm going to read the directions in 1 second. I'm going to put them on my screen so you can see them. All right, here we go. Here's how it'll work. We'll look at the picture that we have, and when we look at the picture, we'll be able to see all the different types of landforms that exist. For example, there's 3 different types that I can name in this. There are mountains, hills, and lakes in this picture. What you're going to do on the next blank picture is be able to try to point out which ones you see in the picture. We saw these landforms of mountain and hills, and we see this landform of lakes. Let's keep going. The body of water as a lake, not a landform. Let's look at this one. I see water. I see landforms. What options do we think we have here? This one's kind of tricky because everyone that we see here isn't something that we necessarily talked about. Let's see. What do you think? I definitely think I know the body of water. I think the body of water is going to be a river. And I see some different raised land in the back that kind of goes up and points up, but it's not tall enough to be a mountain. So maybe that'll be a hill. And then I see a bit of land that's in the middle of water, and there's water all around it, which means that that's probably like an island. So this must be an island. Let's see. Nice. We had hills, we had island, we have river. Those all exist in the same spot. There's so many different types of landforms. Let's keep going. What about this one? Let's see. You may be thinking, I see a lot of clouds and a lot of sky. That's true, but those aren't landforms, and those aren't bodies of water. So let's see. What do we come up with? Wow, I see hills, I see plains, which makes sense. If we look back at our chart, the plains are really flat. The plains were really flat, and as they were flat, we can see that that's probably a plain on the screen there. Let's keep going. Oh, wow, this is interesting. What could this be? Definitely a river down below as it flows through the rock. But what else could these other parts be? It's pretty flat at the top, so it's not pointing up, so it can't be a mountain. Let's see what we come up with. Wow, we have a river down here, so that's nice. We have a canyon as we go all the way down here with the high sides, and we have plateaus, which is pretty flat at the top. Let's keep going. What about this one? A lot of pieces here. I think we can identify at least 3. I'm seeing mountains for sure. This body of water doesn't look terribly large. It looks like it's right by a house. Seems like it may be considered a pond. Let's see what else is missing. I'm not sure. Let's try to see what our answers could be. Oh, there we go. We see mountains. We see a valley, this part right here. It's not completely flat. And then we see a pond. Wow, nice. These people have a cute little house. And with three different types of landforms, at least three different types of landforms around them, and a body of water. Let's keep going. What about this one? This is interesting. Might be a tough one, because there's a body of water in here somewhere. We just got to be able to find it. Let's see. There's our stream over there. It's kind of hidden behind this, but there's a body of water that goes through here as it flows through. It's really narrow, so it would be considered a stream. And then down below is a valley, and then up top is a mountain. Let's keep going. This one's going to be tricky, I know. That's a lot of water. Lot of water. But let's see, what other bodies of water and land mass do we have? This one, possibly a cliff. Yes, perfect. We got a cliff, we got a waterfall, we have the ocean. All those exist in the same spot. Makes sense that the water will be going, for the waterfall will be falling into the ocean, and the waterfall is caused by the cliff. Let's go to our next one. Wow, a lot going on here. This is beautiful. I wish I could visit. I don't know where in the world it is, but I know that it's somewhere in the world. Let's see. Oh, wow, okay. We have a lake, we have a valley, we have a mountain. Wow, all those pieces are in our picture. That's amazing. And all those pieces are connected. So we're done with our game. And if you got a lot of those right, that's amazing. And if you didn't, that's okay too, because we just started learning it today. And sometimes it takes people a little while to learn the new things, and that's completely fine. But let's recap what we learned today. We learned that there are representations of the Earth called the globe, and they exist in so many ways, whether bigger than this or except in a little bit of inflatable ball like the one I have here. And when we spin it around, we see different types of land and different water. And the white ones represent the ice, the blue represents the water, and then the brown and green represent the land. And there are different types of land. There's mountains, there's valleys, there's canyons, there's plains, and there's plateaus. All of those exist, whether really far away from us or even in our city or in our state. When we think about those types of things, we know that Earth is made up of so many different types of landforms, and as we get to see them, as we exist in the Earth, we got to make sure that we're able to identify them to be the right thing and then know how they help the Earth function. Now that we know those things, I can't wait to check in with you guys next week for our next science lesson. I'll see you later, scientists.
Teaching in Room 9 is made possible with support of Bank of America, Dana Brown Charitable Trust, Emerson, and viewers like you.